Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in, and welcome to another edition of For the Health of It. I'm your host, Lee Beccaria. It's great to have you with us once again. The topic of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse may not be one that you automatically think of as a healthcare one, but it really is. This is a topic that we're going to be talking about and covering today through information on a relatively new program and organization known as the RADAR Project. The RADAR Project, founded by our guest Leslie Holt, is a unique and creative attempt through the use of modern technology to help the general public, such as you, identify unsafe geographical areas in one's immediate or regional community. It also assists law enforcement agencies to identify the proverbial hotspots where abuse crimes have been committed so that extra surveillance can take place. Also, the RADAR Project supports and provides a new program called A Child's Light that helps to provide psychiatric help to child victims of abuse who otherwise may not get the opportunity to receive such help. We'll hear more about this in just a minute. Leslie, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here for the first time. And this is a very important topic. Really anxious about covering the RADAR Project and your newest program, A Child's Light.
Thank you.
So first, tell us what prompted you to start a brand new nonprofit organization?
Well, Lou, I and a colleague were victims advocates in Chester County rape crisis. So we were able to see firsthand how victims went through all of the every facet of reporting, going to the hospital, going through the judicial system, and we were able to see how other agencies were able to assist our agency of rape crisis, and we were also able to see where it needed a little more help. And so my partner Mary Lopez and I, who was also a victims advocate and an attorney, we decided that this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to develop a map, which we have done successfully. It is called the Me Too map. You can just do hashtag Me Too map on your phone and a map pops up, and it is an international map. We have people dropping pins, and that means alerting people in their communities of either a rape or a domestic abuse situation. And then it also allows for the victim or survivor to write a narrative and tell their side of the story. So right now, it's up, it's running, it's been just so successful, and we have people all over the world dropping pins and telling others their story.
So let me give you give an example of this to see if I understood it correctly. Let's say that there was someone who's taking a trip to Italy and they're going to Rome. Would they be able to identify the hotspots in Rome where abuse, domestic violence, rape takes place?
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, there aren't as many pins overseas as we would like, but we're hoping, of course, that will change. The more we can get the word out about the Me Too map, but right now in the United States, when you click on it, you're able to see different areas, and of course there's a lot right around Philadelphia because of our, we're in the vicinity of Philadelphia. But the thing that's so really priceless about having this map is that people are able to write a narrative as long as they want, and they're able to tell what happened to them. So they're self-reporting, because so many times people, for whatever reasons, for cultural reasons, that they're not trusting of law enforcement, they won't go and report. So, but they will self-report to an anonymous map, and people are allowed to put in as much or as little information as they want. And we're hoping that, in years to come, this will be studied. But for the short term, it's wonderful because, if it's happening at say, a college campus, that college, that university can be more aware and put resources.
Right.
So it's growing and it's been successful, and we're just hoping that more people drop pins. So,
Okay. We're going to take a break for a commercial right now, Leslie, and you're listening to Leslie Holt talking about the new radar project, and we're going to take a break for a commercial right now, folks, so please stay with us, and we have more when we come back. Hi, welcome back to For the Health of It. For those of you who are just tuning in, we have the pleasure today of talking with Leslie Holt, who is the founder and executive director of a new organization called the Radar Project. And we've been talking about this has to do with abuse and domestic violence and so forth. So, Leslie, I want to ask you, what does RADAR stand for? RADAR, the acronym.
So trigger warning here. It stands for the Rape and Domestic Abuse Report.
Okay.
And it is just that simple. You go to the map and you report a rape and any domestic violence situation that you've experienced, and you can do it even if the crime happened 50 years ago, you can still go and drop a pin.
Wow.
Because we believe that it's that important that survivors have their voice heard.
What a great use of modern technology that you've captured. That's great. Now, I understand too that you have started a new program called A Child's Light, which we have here. And so tell us about that, and why did you get that program started?
So A Child's Light really comes full circle, because as much as no one wants to talk about this subject, these same things that happen to adults, rape and domestic abuse, unfortunately happen to children. And children are not, they do not naturally disclose what happens to them for a myriad of reasons. So these little people who have been, say they're sexually assaulted, they don't report, they go to school, they can't concentrate, they have a lot of guilt and shame, self-loathing. They think that this has been they did something to cause this. So whereas the normal route for a child is to report, they go to the police, and then county agencies step in and are able to care for this child. Only 12% of childhood sexual assault is reported. So what happens to those other children that don't report? Well, what happens to them is they get diagnosed with ADHD, they act out in school, they self-harm.
Left to suffer by themselves,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. And all this time, with the thought that this is their fault and they somehow caused this, digging even deeper neural pathways into their brain. So that's what's happening in a young brain. So if you extrapolate this out, how does this look as an adult? So what it looks like is an adult, and I love my statistics, 98% of women who have been sexually assaulted will use drugs and alcohol in their future to try to quell.
That's astounding.
It is. It's astounding. The psychological pain. So if we can focus on the people who will see these children first, these children that don't disclose through law enforcement, if we can help teachers, help law enforcement, reach these kids and reach their parents and say, look, here's a program called a Child's Light that is available to you, and they will help fund your child getting mental health treatment. Because in that process of talking to a therapist, the child might then disclose, and that's where the healing will begin.
Right. Yeah, not keeping it bottled up.
Right. So that's what a Child's Light is about. It's reaching these kids that that don't go the normal law enforcement route, which most people in the public, that's what they think. They hear about a child being sexually assaulted. Well, first of all, that child was raped, and that's what it should be called, so that we all know just how bad and graphic it is.
It sounds like what you're talking about is actually the ACEs kids.
It is.
Adverse Childhood Experiences,
Exactly.
which we've done some other shows on in the past. But this is unique in that you're actually devised a program to help these kids with getting the psychological treatment that they have. So tell us about how do they get referred, and how long are they referred?
Well, good question. So we're in the process now of putting a referral page up on the Radar Project website, so that school counselors, teachers, parents, anyone can go on and refer a child. So let's just take a school environment. So a counselor sees a child who, say, in 4th grade was just blossoming and they were doing so well, and then they come back from summer vacation or Christmas holiday or something, and their grades just drop off. They can't figure out why. So what if the school and the parents don't have the
means to,
right,
yeah.
They can reach out to us, and we will get them in to see a therapist. We will pay for it. A Child's Light negotiates the fee with the therapist, and we do it in blocks of 3 months.
Okay, we need to take a break right now, but I do want to continue with this and delve into it more because it is extremely valuable information. We're going to take a break, folks, for a commercial and hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll hear more from Leslie Holt about a Child's Light. Stay with us. You'll want to hear what Leslie has to say. Hi, welcome back to For the Health of It. For those of you who are just tuning in, we have the pleasure today of talking with Leslie Holt, who is the founding executive director of a program called the Radar Project. And they have a brand new program that we end at the next segment on describing, called a Child's Light. And so, Leslie, how do you collect diagnostic information, and is this information confidential for the young children who are in this psychiatric treatment?
No. So we are trying to keep this as simple, really, as the Me Too map was, and we think that if we keep things simple, then more people are likely to try to get their children into some kind of treatment. So normally, if you're going through a school, there has to be a diagnosis for the child to get treatment. We were kind of coming at it from the back end, and we don't want to know what the diagnosis is. All we want to do is make sure the kid gets the treatment. Yeah. And have time blocked out for that child, so that they have their own special time with a therapist, away from school, a therapist that's not their mom's therapist, that they have their own sort of psychological advocate, that they feel like they have a safe space.
Is there a means test in order for a child to get this free psychiatric help?
No, the only thing that they have to do is we ask that a parent or a caregiver sign a letter of commitment that just simply says that they agree that if the radar project is going to pay for the child to be seen, that they agree to get the child there to treatment.
Yeah, so that's their buy-in.
That's it.
How many children, I know the program is brand new, but how many children, Leslie, have actually gone through the program, and do you follow children to see about their progress?
Sure. Well, what we do is there are approximately 5 children right now who have been victims of sexual assault and victims of rape, and also they've experienced domestic violence in their short little lives. And so what we do is we negotiate with a therapist to see them for 3 months. We all evaluate the therapist, whoever referred the child, if it's a teacher, the parent or the caregiver, and most importantly, the child, to see if they're getting any relief, any psychological relief from the pain that they're experiencing. And then we reassess, and if the child feels as though they want to continue, and if everyone is in agreement, we will pay for them to go again. And we're actually in the process of a little girl who was in a domestic violence situation. She stopped for a time, and she'll be going back. And because psychological treatment should be fluid, it should be normalized. It should be when you're feeling psychological pain, just like if you broke your foot and you'd go to the doctor. If you're struggling for some reason, you should go see a psychologist or a trauma therapist. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have younger people feel more comfortable too with this process, because if they don't, and they don't seek out, and their parents don't help them to seek out treatment, in the long run, they won't develop into the person that they actually dream that they would be.
So how do the children, you may have covered this earlier in the interview, but how do the children get access to this program? Do you depend on referrals from the schools, from law enforcement, from parents, from social service agencies, the child, him or herself?
Yeah, all of the above. And we would encourage kids that if they go onto the website and they read about this and they have been victimized, to reach out to us and to have a discussion with their parents or their caregiver, and say to the parent, here, we won't have to decide whether or not to buy extra groceries, because this agency will pick up all the fees.
It's filling a void.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And law enforcement loves this, by the way.
I'm sure they do.
They do.
And so how can parents or a law enforcement agency or any of the above access points contact you?
Well, they can go to the website, theradarproject.org. They can email us. They can call. The phone number is 610-405-2968. So it's just that easy. Call, talk to us. We will figure something out.
Okay. Now, I know, being a nonprofit public charity organization, that you could use money.
Yes.
So tell us how the donations could be used. And again, also, if you could use volunteers in any way, even if it's like administrative volunteers.
So, yeah, we have, we would really like to focus on marketing right now, because this is...
To get the word out.
Yeah, because this project is so important to reach children. In this day and age, where the statistic that I just gave you, that is so astronomical, 98% of women that are sexually abused, so what that means is they become addicted to a substance. And in this day and age, you can't
So how can we only have a few seconds left? How can people donate to you?
So you can go to the website, to theradarproject.org. There's a donate button. We are all over Facebook, all over Instagram, and so you can make donations directly through there. We're also on Venmo, which is great because we get the money immediately. And so that money, because this is all volunteers, that money that you're donating,
It's going right to the
child,
Okay.
to a child.
Well, Leslie, thanks very much for
Thank you.
making us aware of the Child's Light as a program and also the Radar Project. You've done a very great public service, and
Thanks.
best of luck with the organization.
Thank you so much, Lou. Appreciate it.
Well, that's about it for today, folks. It looks like we're out of time, and we hope that the information that you've heard about the Radar Project and the new program called A Child's Light has been very helpful and beneficial for you, and it's provided you with very valuable information. Until next time, it's been great being with you, and remember, folks, if you're healthy, you're wealthy. I'm Lou Beccaria, and I'll see you next time. So long, everyone.